Alrighty, today's episode of Rubber Down, I had an awesome chat with Jock Goodyer about his season, a little bit of stuff in America. This was recorded about 2 weeks ago. Make sure to like and subscribe all our social media, whether that's Codeman Racing channels, Binny channels, and of course, Rubber Down channels. If you're driving, make sure you drive safely. Don't watch, listen. All right, Jock, mate, thanks for joining the pod, man. Ripper, how we just talked about Tassie's already getting cold. What is it like actually in winter? Like, it's not even winter yet, and you said it was like 2 degrees already. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's we're definitely starting to feel it right now. What are we, May now? And yeah, it was 2 degrees this morning when I got my car and head to work. So winter is definitely here. I'm not looking forward to the next 2 months, but yeah, it'll get warmer. Hopefully, around the
Don't be too
September
keen.
mark. I'm
Yeah,
counting. I'm counting it right down.
counting it down. So there we go. What's, work day look like for you in May? Platinum Print still running your company. What does that look like at the moment?
Just yeah, same sort of typical work day. Wake up, head to work, start at 7:30. Just get through the workload that we've got, and try to get off work around 4ish. Don't want to be just doing stupid hours in these cold
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
times. So
yeah.
just sort of tick over and just get by.
Now, last year you did head to the States, so you had that period. Is that still on the radar this year, or no, not yet? Just work through the winter and then get back into the race and Australia season.
Nah, yeah, the headspace right now is probably just like stay at home this time and
Yeah.
just get everything on track, business, everything, and yeah, I've got to you know get ready for the big season we got coming up in Australia.
Yeah, so with what was that like? Like that trip you said was so left field. You got that Instagram message from the silver and running the 57. What was that transition like racing there? Then all of a sudden you're back into Australia. Like, did it sort of help you with the seat time, but also be like, nah, our racing's completely different. Free you're off. How did that feel?
I mean, it wasn't really. It's different. Don't get me wrong. Everything
Mm.
race is a lot different, and the cars are so much different as well. Like, I mean, they look like a sprint car, but the difference between, like, I run a dish wing here in Australia, and to go there, and you're only allowed to run a flat top wing, and something like that can change the aspect of how the car reacts so much.
Mm.
And same deal with their tires. They're on a lot harder of a tire, non-growth tire, so you've always got to try fill your car and fill your tires underneath you, and it's
Mm.
sort of a lot different to here in Australia, where what's got no the tires these days are getting a lot closer to American
Yeah.
tires, but I still believe we're still a long way away.
So when you say, like, obviously we know they're harder compound, that's always everyone talks about it. But like this year with American Racer, they did have a harder compound, and you're a American Racer guy. What was that transition like? Did the tires feel a lot different for you, and like for American Racer point of view?
Yeah, they definitely the grip levels aren't there as what they were probably the previous years with how soft our tires were,
Yeah,
which sort of like we could go out there and blow a set of tires off every time we went out there. So
yeah,
probably a good thing that we are going away from the softer compound because honestly, the tire prices these days and everything, we definitely
exactly.
need to do something.
Now, what's it like with being an American Race like focused team, and then you go to somewhere like Perth, and it's like, well, no, we run Hoosier over here. Like, how quick is that transition this year? Like, wasn't great at the start for you guys. We'll get into that later, but like, does that really change a lot of stuff when you're racing?
Uh, yeah, the tires definitely react a lot different. Yeah, you just gotta. There's so many different adjustments you gotta make to make them work, and yeah, definitely. When you go head over there and you don't really have a notebook because you don't really know what the Who's is
Yeah.
doing because you haven't ran one, which sort of made it very difficult. And I think the early parts of the season, we didn't really know what was going on, and we actually found some cosmetic stuff with our car, and we
Yeah.
only found it till when we come back over and went to Sydney, and midway through our Sydney stint there, when we were there,
Mm.
we found some stuff in our car that was we thought was right, but when you actually tested it after it ran, it wasn't right. So
Yeah.
that we were scratching our heads there for a lot early on in the year, just not really knowing what the hell was going on with
Yeah.
the thing. But yeah, we got there in the end. But there is definitely a lot you've got to change to make them work.
So with that, like that great season you had the year before, Did you have a new car this year or no? It was like similar car and it just wasn't working. Like what goes into that? You had such a good year, like you would think it just picks back up, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Like I did change a lot of stuff on my car. Well, not like a lot, but just some stuff. And I mean, my car was a new car, but
Yeah.
I don't believe in dud cars. There's no such freaking thing. Anyone who ever tells you that, it's a
Hey,
load of
that's a
rubbish.
big thing, bro. Everyone goes, I can have two Maxims and one's great and one's not, or what, you know what I mean? The
Like we
Supercars.
we were we were sitting that on our heads and thinking, well, have we got one? And
Which
it
is a
took us a
scary
while.
thought, eh? When you're like,
and
maybe
and
is it
we've
the
never
chassis?
believed in that. You just got
Yes.
to figure out the weights of your car. The
Yeah.
biggest thing I think is you got to scale them because each
Mhm.
car's different, and
Yep.
you got to figure out what it likes.
Yeah,
So
exactly. With the
yeah,
scaling and stuff. So when you say that, like that Sydney period, now we'll touch on that. There was a moment at Sydney, bro. You came in after a heat race on one of the bad nights, and it was like really dusty and like it was pretty dangerous. I don't know if you remember, you reamed me. You're like, what are they doing here at the scales? And I'm like, fuck, I don't work here, bro. Stop yelling at me. Like, I could see, I know how frustrated you were, and a lot of guys were that night. It was that night when the heat racing, like, it was pretty non-visible. Like, it was
yeah,
that
yeah.
night
I
when they
remember it clearly.
I remember I was like pretty disappointed too. I'm like, God, man, not a good night. And you just yell at me. I'm like, fuck, bro. I don't know. Like, don't yell at me. Yell at someone else.
Dude, I was
You
sure
probably
just
didn't even
someone.
remember it was me. You're probably just looking at anyone who's going to cop this right now. And it was me. But I was like, yeah, well, yeah, this place was crap tonight. Like, whatever. You just touched on that Sydney period. Now, you'd won at Sydney previously in a different car. But, what was it? Do you feel like Sydney was from the salad car to in your own car? Like, was it visibly different? The surface, even the shape of the track, did it change again? Like, you were raving on it. Like a lot of people, were like it was great at the start, and then that period wasn't so good. Like, what do you think the track has gone to, if that makes sense?
To tell you my honest opinion, I don't know what it is, but I think the way it's ran is terrible.
Mm.
It seems like there's no care. That's the
Mm.
problem, and I don't think it's the people running it. I think it's actual people behind it that are
Yeah,
giving
I get
rights.
that. I get that. Yeah. Which it
Yeah, which
does, which
sucks.
for me, as my track, and I've had a lot to like, I'm not involved with it, but there are a lot of times I want more drivers there. But as a driver, like, what are things that you go to a track and be like, I want to be looked after? Is that what you mean? Like in
Yeah,
those type of
it's that.
ways?
Like, don't get me wrong, though. Still, like, they're nice enough people and everything, but there's just so much stuff that needs working on. Like, even for instance, the track surface.
That's a big one. Yes. That's like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I copped the rock to my helmet and smashed the whole front of my helmet in.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
and there
yeah.
goes my helmet.
Wings
It's
have
just
been smashed there all year. Yeah,
like
100%, man.
it's too hard on equipment is the problem.
Yeah.
Like I know these things are made to go fast, but they're not made to get their head rag out for like 30
Yeah.
laps straight. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Which I don't know how you do it with different track curators
Mm.
passing by and all that. It definitely
Yeah.
makes a challenge. We don't get a consistent. No one's getting consistent notebook at the end of the day, and
Yeah, for sure. I would say the place it's either on the fence or hooked up or not, but then it's so different all the time. If that, I know
yeah,
it sounds like I said it's either two, but it's still different every time. So,
yeah.
and you said surface, like at the end of the day, like if you go to a speedway and you know you're gonna get a good track, even though if it's not run 100% perfect, you're still happy to go there and take your car and be like, okay, they're working on things. Like at least I'm
Yeah.
safe out there. Let's say a new track starts up for a race team. What is a sign for you to okay, we'll give it a crack or go there? Like obviously prize money we talk about, but at the end of the day, if you're traveling through from Brisbane and there's a show on at Sydney, like you would want to race there even if it's $3,000 to win because it's like oh it's on the way, let's go get some laps.
Yeah, it's. I think to get anyone to go to a track, you got to make it a show. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you can't just you see some tracks in Australia they'll just try to chuck on as many cars as they can get to
Like
get
divisions, do you mean?
yeah
Yeah,
that's what I mean, and
yeah.
then to get them through the gate. Where I think tracks need to actually take a different approach at it and try and make it more of a show, more interactions.
Yeah.
You know, like it's something like you can just get a little G Whizzer or something, or just something to put out the back for the kids, and you'd be surprised. Like you turn it into a bit of a show instead of just jamming
An
people in
event.
there. You know,
Like, you know what I mean?
that's
Instead of
yeah. You
like,
got to make
oh,
it.
this is a race schedule. No, it's like, no, you can go do this while racing's on if you don't want to do that. Like a festival vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like Perth does that really well. Like they have skydivers, all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
jumping, it's just drone shows, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I
But the
mean, it
Perth get
entertains.
away with it though is that pure, half the show is you get to walk around the pits, bro. Like that's a show. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is, it's a big hack to have. Like you forget that you're like, this is normal. But I mean, what is it like for you as being then an East team and then you got people around you all the time? Like, is that
I mean,
different
like,
on race night? I know, like I'm saying, like, they're pretty respectable there. Like, I thought it'd be like, oh, a lot of people everywhere, but they're pretty, like, they stay away from the car. They're not too much in your grill, I guess. Like,
yeah.
what's that like?
I mean, it's good to have race fans, definitely. But like, I mean, sometimes it gets a bit like, especially when you hurt your car or something,
Yeah.
and you're
Oh,
trying
especially
you're
if you
trying to
crash
get
at Perth, everyone's there, bro.
yeah, which makes it like I think like that aspect, and sometimes it can, like it is quite dangerous. Sometimes like you got stuff flying off cars. Like I know we're not under power, but like everything like that. I mean, it's definitely good for the sport, families, all that sort of stuff. But sometimes it definitely makes it difficult.
Yeah.
But they definitely have the ball in their court for that scenario to
100%.
make it more of a family atmosphere, all that sort of stuff.
Now, with your Perth trips this year, obviously high limit in the speed week. Like even you said, we just weren't on the ball. First night, you didn't transfer the show. Like that was pretty gutting. But then you got moving in that format. Like you nearly made that top front of the dash, like in the heat race, and then you move forward in the big show. Like, do you rate that format of the high limit format? Like, do you feel like it is forgiving? Like, say you have a night like that, and then you can bounce back, or no? There's things that you're not too crash hot on.
No, like I mean, I think every format should have a way that you could work your way back up from. Like,
Yeah.
some formats like you just DNF and you might as well just put the thing in the trailer. You got no
Classic
hope. Where
title, for
yeah,
example, it's like,
you're done.
see you later.
You
Yeah.
do it. You do a DNF, and well, prime example, I was sitting real good on points at the Aussie title, and then a lap car spun in front of me, DNF my
Facts.
heat, and
Yeah.
you're in the B main.
Yeah, where you should be like at least 12 at worst.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
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 So, talk about the Australian title there, bro. I'm not going to lie. I thought you had a red hot crack. Did you feel like you had a car to win that thing that night?
I mean, we were good. We would have been real up the pointy end, and it just sort of sucked when we DNF that heat that last night
Yeah,
while
like
lead.
that's what I mean. Like that heat race, I was like, oh, that car's on. Like they got some shit moving right now. And then
Yeah.
that happened, and then the B main like gone, and then you go from like 21st to what, 4th or something? You went like
Nah,
up there. Oh,
I
whatever.
don't
You're just near the front, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, but what's it like? Murray Bridge, you normally have a pretty good rate at. Like you went go there earlier in the year. Like again, Murray Bridge had that night. That first night Australian title was a circus. Everyone.
Yeah.
That was something else. But again, like Murray Bridge, then for example, had a tough time, similar to Sydney. Like, what do you feel like? Was there just a surfacing, or it was that night was purely just miscommunication?
I think it was a lot of miscommunication. The problem is as well, like track's trying to run a race, but then SCCA is trying to run the race meeting as well, and there's no communication between the two. And it sucks. Like it's either one of the two. SCCA's either running it or the track's running it, and no one had a clue what was bloody going on, and someone was just jumping in the tractor, but then no communication. Like,
Cancel this, B man. Now it's back on. What do you guys think?
Oh.
Then the guy's highest in points, like, I'll race. And everyone's like, no, like, what? We're going to race. No one's going to say anything. We're racing. Woo! Crash into B man. Oh, we're declared. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think though, like with that SCCA, whatever? I felt like this year, I've been all over the country, and it really bugs me that everywhere we go, the format is different because the track or something is like, we're gonna do this tonight because, and it's like, fucking why? Why can't we just either run 2 heats or qualifying and invert it like the high limit format? Like, what are you? Is it fun? Like, perfect example is that night at Sydney with that pole shuffle thing and whatever. Like, that was another thing that I'm not like. I don't know whose fault that was that night, but I literally was walking that night. Like, I spoke to like the track people about it, so I'm like, what happened? Why was this a bit of miscommunication? He goes, well, I told the chief steward that this is what we're doing. I don't know what he said at driver's briefing, and I said, then I got told apparently at driver's briefing it was said, and then I go, well, this guy didn't know, this guy didn't know, this team didn't know, this team didn't know, but then one team knew as we were rolling out. Yeah, right. Then listen to this. So I'm walking out down the dummy grid, and yous are all getting pushed out because I still don't know what's going on at this point. But don't get me wrong, I just film race cars. I probably should go to driver's briefing, but sometimes I don't. And I'm like, so what are we doing? One crew guy goes, oh, I think it's like that World Series gold, silver, bronze qualifying. And oh, okay, that makes sense. Next guy, oh no, it's a 4-car pole shuffle. I go, oh, what the hell's that? Never done that before. Another guy goes, no, it's a 1-lap qualifying, like 1 car at a time. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna hit the fan right now. And then I look out there just before you like blew up, and then I walk down there to the official. I'm like, do you know like none of these guys know what's going on? And the official's like, what? I'm like, I'm just letting you know. So maybe you want to like get this shit sorted because like I don't think anyone knows. I said I don't. And she's like, oh, this is what we're doing. I'm like, go tell everyone right now. ASAP. And then you come and go, what the fuck? And then you fired up and you actually drove through the field. So it worked out for you, that format. But maybe because you were blowing up, you're like, fuck this, I'm just sending it.
Well, yeah, they made me angry. I've never heard of freaking. We got told it was bronze, silver, gold thing, but it was actually turns out their bronze, silver, gold was a platinum something shootout. Same thing. They just
Look, I'm all for adding new stuff. Like, but even though I just said I hate the formats changing, like, don't get me wrong, I sit there as a race fan. That was pretty cool, seeing more cars. But as a driver, is it more like you would rather less laps and safety to get to the feature instead of like running dashes and all that stuff?
Dashes is more of a crash. You can crash your shit.
100%. And you're racing for, like, for example, I was at Nowra, bro, they're going in
Yeah,
turn
I've
one.
seen it.
Boom.
They destroyed
and
it.
I'm like, oh, you're racing for the outside of front row. Like, we could have avoided this. But anyway, it's been a part of sprint car racing. The dash is always a thing. But what about if it was just like you just went out there and did 1 qualifying lap? Like, because as a guy like you, I feel like if you're 10th in points, you got a quick car, you could rip a lap and be like, I'm off pole, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
Would that be frustrating though? If you're on the other end of the stick, like I'm highest points and I just hit the wall and now I'm 10th. Like,
well, I mean, it's like 1 lap. I feel like 1 lap's pretty hard, especially. Well, it depends how the aspect of it's ran. Like, is it 4 cars at a time, then 2 advance, or is it everyone?
Nah, like you get 1 lap out there, bruh. Go for it.
What, 1 at a time on the track?
Yeah, we did it at Sydney one night when the Supercars. I thought it was the best thing I've ever watched. And even talking to the drivers, like, bro, I was shitting myself. I got 1 lap. That's it.
I mean, it'll be pretty funny, yeah.
Like, and you get the spotlight. It's like, yeah, on the track now, you get your sponsors read out. 22 T's ripping. Go. Like, that's it. It was really cool. I thought it was cool. Yeah. And the only thing I would say, if you want to speed it up, you get 2 cars out at once. It literally is like 5 laps, and then the show moves on.
Yeah, like, no, that's not like a Bathurst shootout.
That's what it was, because we had the supercar meet and whatever. So they said, this is what we're doing for the dash. So there was no dash that night. It was 1 lap. I thought it was cool. Yeah. But there are things like, you raced in the high limit over there in America. How they always rave on about how quick their shows were. Were they that quick ran or no?
Yeah.
Like, tell me through like how quick your night was. Like for a driver, was it like shit? I've got to get back in.
Yeah, pretty well. This like, I mean, you're out there. Yeah, like everything's just it's all organised. Our races every year around like a chook raffle. Compared to that, like it's bad. Like you go out, your hot lap time trial, they just punch it out, get it done. If there's track work needing done, they'll do it there. And then I mean, when that horn sounds, that's heat 1.
Yeah. Yep.
And they just flow every time. If it's another one at that horn, and if you don't go to that horn, you get penalised. That's the thing. If you're late to the dummy grid, you get penalised.
Oh, so that's creating the. They won't wait for me. It's, well, we waited for you, but you're last now, bro.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like that.
Oh, mate. I was out of there by like, we'd start a show at 6 o'clock, and you're out the door, out the gate by 9.
What, leaving the track?
Yes,
Piss off.
like, I swear that's how quick they run.
And that's
Get
like, but that's with how many cars? Like 40 cars? So 4 heats
40,
and
50
everything?
cars. Yeah, 4 heats. They do obviously a heat per car, and then spin the wheel, B main, A
Yeah,
main,
that's
get
still,
out.
that wheel thing does take a little bit too. It's not like a...
Yeah, but there's no support categories.
Yeah, okay. But sprint cars are a show.
That's exactly, and that's how they did it. They made it a show.
A show, yeah, but did they make it a show purely because it was just run quick, or is
Well,
it what else
yeah.
did they? What else did they do there? You seen at High Limit in America? Like what else did you see? Oh, sorry,
The t-shirt, like the t-shirt, like side of things is a lot bigger over there. Like a t-shirt alley, live music. They'll have live music in a t-shirt alley. Make that like an
before
atmosphere.
the day, before the race starts.
Yep, they'll do that. And then honestly, the rest of the show is just how quick the show is ran.
So like, it's literally less is more.
Yeah. There you go.
See, like High Limit, obviously, like okay, like you ran World Series like for 1 year, eh, when you first started.
Yeah.
So, but the show was World Series, not so much Sprint Cars, correct? Like, hey, this is our national series. Come and check it out. So when you run like, let's say, a weekly show at any track, the average viewer is like, yeah, it's just another week. I don't need to go this week. So like, that's where these other divisions do help the track with nomination money.
Yeah,
And stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that on crowd. So you get that. But is there ways like you said with these t-shirt alleys, and I feel like there should be spots, or like you guys are, my opinion is you guys are the show. Now, sometimes, you know, you can have a shit day and you don't want to talk to anyone, but that's just anyone in life. You're like, nah, I'm just going to race, don't care. But you're one of the first guys I feel like got a merch trailer and that, because like, is that you seeing American go, hey, no one has that in Australia, I need one of them. Like, we got to take it to the next level, which is true. I love it. I wish we had like you see on the High Limit, like 55 of them. Like what do you got? Courtney, gravel, boom, and it just looks like, oh yeah, I'm here to spend some fucking money, bro. Like this shit, you know.
That's why I did it.
What do you think the hardest thing is now, being a traveling sprint car team? What is the hardest thing?
For me, traveling. Like,
oh shit, that was part of the question. But...
I'm in the hardest spot.
Tassie, yeah, true. So
you know what I mean? I'm not like Melbourne.
Yeah, wait, literally Melbourne is a place, like, if you're going to race sprint cars, like 5 tracks, eh? You're like, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I get that bit, but like the hardest bit would definitely be, I mean, the time off is probably pretty hard.
Yep.
Because you're pretty well locked. You're locked in from like, let's say, Boxing Day till pretty well end of February
now with the perf stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 2 months you're at it. So it's a long time away from home. Juggling a business, all that sort of stuff definitely gets a bit hard on a time like that.
What did you think about the schedule of like when they moved the Red Hot Shootout? Did you rate it at that time, or do you think it's better having it back in that January period where it's normally slated?
No, I think it's better.
Which one? You liked it in April, or you liked it where it normally is?
April.
I think I liked it too, because it gave me a bit of a breath. I didn't have to worry about travelling. But then I feel like it got its own time. Like everyone was talking about the Red Hot Shootout.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to stay now, because...
Oh, is it? That's awesome. Because then it links up with Gladstone. That's great. Like, week later.
So we're just got to... I think if we're going to lose that date of when it would have been, I think with like the tracks need to work together to make some sort of a series along that side of the coast.
100%.
So that's what, if they're going to give that up, it definitely allows something to work, even if it starts in Perth, and work your way across, because otherwise you don't have to hustle all the way up to Queensland. You've got that week where you can work something out.
Well, if it starts in Perth, literally, if you're a Perth team and you're going to do a national East Coast trip anyway, I think so many teams will do the Perth. I mean, do the tour, because it's going to probably end back in February there too. Or if not, everyone goes back there to race for $40,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard now not to start it with the high limit. Like, I feel
That's
like
hard.
it's so big. And then, like, you did have, like, for example, which I was going to ask you, you got this speed week going now where McHugh and Hallador ran. Was it purely your decision to go run the high limit because it's 100 grand to win and you normally go good there? Or it's just purely, you know, how much press was around it, Channel 7? What makes your decision to go, okay, I can potentially win 10 grand a night here, like, against that, or go a race against Americans? That's what it really is.
I wanted to challenge myself.
Yeah, and you go well there. Like, Perth's
Yeah.
been a good place for you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we've already done the speed week sort of thing, and it's got old. It's the same sort of stuff, and nothing's changed for so many years. So I got to a point where I was just sick of doing the same sort of swing, and I wanted to go. And obviously, this came up, and it was a challenge. So anyway, better is try to challenge yourselves.
Yeah, for sure. And with the speed week, like they used to do it, but it used to be like when World Series started, right? Well, throwback to World Series. Do you remember what was it like the first few races going? I'm doing the World Series tour. Like, how hard was that being a young bloke going, man, this is a lot of work and traveling. I don't know what I signed up for. Was it like that?
It was. It wasn't like the traveling and everything didn't really bother me. I was just young and dumb at the end of the day, so it was more the daunting amount, like who you're racing against.
Okay, yep.
Like, I was the young kid on the block that had real no clue on what he was doing, and you're racing Kerry, James, Brooke Tatnall, all of them were all in it, and you're like, oh God, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was probably a good thing for me. It's probably made me into half the racer I am today.
Yeah.
So, it sucks that there's nothing like it now, though.
So like if a World Series turned up tomorrow, you sound like you're pretty much ready to go. I'd want to do that, like a national series.
Oh, we need a national series.
I know we do. Don't get me wrong. I know we do. But like, you'd be a team like, I'm ready to go. Like tomorrow, give me the pen and paper. Now, as a team, then you've done World Series in the past. What could have been better from you signing up as a team? What do you think should be better for a national series? Like, what do we offer the teams? How do we help you? Like, what do you feel like was lacking that now we do have a clean slate to start? What could be improved in that formula?
Probably fresh eyes to the sport. Someone that's, it's got to be someone new. It can't be the same people at the end of the day. We need different eyes to look at it in a different perspective. I think it's the biggest thing. We can't keep rolling with the same sort of stuff. We need someone that knows corporate people, that's able to go get our sport to another level. Like, the problem is with Speedway, we're in like a circle and we don't sort of branch out.
I feel like now we're like pushing it, but it's still like we're still here.
Yeah. Like we need to step out and go get someone that's out of it to then reach out again to then get that person, and then it expands. But right now we're sort of still stuck in a bubble, unfortunately. But that's the way I see it anyway.
Well, I agree. I feel like we're doing a lot of things better, but still some of the things like the old way. Like, there are new initiatives, and you're like, just so close to getting like, why haven't we done that? Or as a race team, you talk about that corporate thing. Like, because we don't have as many live streams and we are behind a paywall, besides your results, obviously, like, hey, my socials are good, I'm winning, bro. You want to be on my car? What is it like going to a race, a sponsor, and be like, hey, I got a sprint car, bro. Do you want to be on it? Like, like I said, we don't. It's not like we have these. Oh yeah, we got 14 rounds live on Channel 7 and Fox Sport. Do you want to be on it? Like, that's easy for a supercar team. No shit. Yeah, national TV coverage, like 14 times rain, hail, shine. Sprint cars, you can see a sponsor if you pay $30 behind a paywall.
I think the biggest problem, I don't think it's the actual TV to these people. I think it's actually they want the hospitality. You got to mate. At the end of the day,
getting them involved around your team and
mate, put them in a marquee. Get them, that sort of stuff. Like, mate, at the end of the day, do you think super cheap auto is gonna really benefit off being on someone's car. Like everyone knows what super cheap auto is there for
Agreed.
anyway.
It's not like they need the promotion of like, we're a new company,
Yeah,
get us out there. It's like,
they've got
you
money
need
to
super
burn,
cheap.
and they
You need super cheap.
well,
Yeah.
super cheap. Sign me up, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the problem is we don't have nowhere nice for him to go. Like, oh yeah, mate, go sit in the grandstand, mate. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, we don't have anywhere nice.
Yeah. So I will say, like, corporate boxes, Perth do nice ones. Sydney's one's a ripper at the moment. I just think they're not stocked up enough. Like, there are places, but that's the thing, like, getting these things built. It's like you come to the Speedway, but, like, you sort of need them in your truck all night, eh? Like, yeah, come be around.
Well,
But then you're like,
yeah,
get out
like
of the way.
it's good for like the tracks to obviously have their boxes, but they're already taken.
Yeah, majority from race teams like yourself or other families. It's like, can we get a box response tonight? They're booked out, bro. You're like, oh.
Well, it's not even that. It's like you go there and people already have a rights on them for a whole year. So it's like you can't even give it to a sponsor even if you wanted to, and if you're trying to engage.
That's not a bad idea then. I know obviously tracks are trying to make their funds. If a team guarantees this upfront money, they're going to take it. But maybe like you said, like, hey, could you maybe leave one or two for a team that wants to put a sponsor up in it? Because that could create the sponsor going, stuff the car. I might want to sponsor this whole place or a race. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they get treated good enough, like it's not always about just the car and stuff like that. So, now social media for you, right? Jock Goodyer Racing, all your racing socials. What has that been like the journey? Like obviously when like social media for getting results, right? When you're going well, like everyone likes your stuff. How good is this? But like with your own merch and stuff, like, is there any tips for younger drivers or people that are new to social media and don't know much? What is a key thing that you thought that like simplified your social media? Is it just purely being active or what you're posting? You being a person, like as a driver, posting, saying stuff like.
I think a really good way to grow your socials is don't just post, oh, raced here, qualified here, finished here in the heat, thanks to the sponsors. I think people want to see the person you are as much as I don't like doing it, and I tried to up it this year and do it differently. They like to see behind the scenes sort of stuff, what you're up to on a maintenance day, how you prep for a race.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
So,
and like the engagement you get from that is 10 times more than what you get from putting up how your night went. Like obviously if you won, put up a nice got the win, happy days, but I think people want to see the sort of person you are and what you get up to, and that's what I changed this year. And I honestly, my socials probably went up way more than what they ever have.
It's from posting, like, and like, don't get me wrong, like sometimes when you're not having a good time and you haven't had good results, the last thing you want to do is post you washing a car. Yeah. Or like, it's like, I couldn't care right now. I just ran 10th. No good. I'm wiping this thing up. Pack her up for a week. Don't care. Right? Like, 100%. But like, do you feel like that can also help teams, like you would say, attract sponsors? Because it's like, hey, like he seems like a really cool dude. I want to get on board with that.
Yeah, I think it's just, So you just got to, the biggest thing sponsors even look at is socials. They want followers.
Well, they have to now, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So, and if your socials are boring and they're not any exposure and all that sort of stuff, they're not
like
really
a flex, really, isn't it? Like, my numbers are good. Like,
So you gotta. That's I freaking hate socials. Trust me, it's hard as hell. But it's something that it boosts everything. It boosts merch. Boosts merch sales because everyone like, oh yeah, no, I like that guy's reels. Like they're funny.
It's not even about, like you said. It's not even about you won last week. It could be like I won 20th, but that reel was sick. I'm gonna buy that shirt.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, some people have bought my face on the sprint car. It doesn't make sense. They don't even have one. So work that one out. It literally doesn't make sense. But thanks, everyone. That's cool. I just junk them. Like, I've spent 6.8 mil a night on iRacing flipping the chassis off, but I just need reset. Happy days, you know?
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So, track-wise, what's your favourite track to run? Like, you know, you go there, and obviously sprint car racing, the tracks can be really good one night or really bad one night. But what's one place you go to and you're like, I can't wait to put the foot down?
Darwin.
Darwin?
Yep.
When was the last time you went to Darwin? 2 years ago? You didn't go this last Chariots, did you?
Nah, because I was in America, but I would have
that's
went.
right.
But year before I went. I've been going there for like I've probably been there 3-4 years now.
Oh, yeah, I remember when you had that blue and black car, you went. You won it.
Yeah.
Won the last season, didn't you?
Yeah, we won. Yeah, it would have been when we had the one on the car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When you started winning everything and you wouldn't share it. Yeah. So why Darwin? Like that place, you do love running the fence and the boards. Like that's Jock Goodyer's track. Like just get him up on the boards, let him go. Is it that type of place, or you just love how it does slicken off, it slows down, technical? Like, why is that?
Yep, it makes for mistakes. It actually slickens off and slows down.
So you prefer a slow racetrack, which most racers do.
Oh yeah, it's the only way that you can get passing. Because when it gets to a point like that, it brings in a lot more different aspects. You got to get your car a lot better. You got to keep your car so much more straight. There's so many more different things. Whereas a hooked up track, every bloke could get out there that's done a million laps.
You all call it hero dirt, don't you?
Yeah. Oh well.
Hero dirt out there.
Yeah. Well, that's what some people call it.
I heard J Mac and Buzzy call it at Tolmo. They're like, "You're up in that hero dirt." Like Buzzy said to J Mac, "You're up in that hero dirt. It was interesting to watch. Didn't know what you're doing." And I was like, "Hero dirt. I've never heard that before. That's good." I call it that on iRacing now. Yeah, just up in the hero dirt. just me up in the hero dirt getting some pace. So Darwin, right? So is that on the cards this year for you? Or...
Yep.
Yeah, sick. I want to go. What's it like? Like I know it's hot. Everyone complains about how hot it is all the time. But like, is there places that are nice in Darwin besides your racing? Like, what do you recommend for other people to go to? Like, is there some pubs that are cool? Or...
Mate, Darwin, best party life you could ever have.
There you heard. Don't go for the racetrack. Go for the partying.
Mate, it is the...
Sounds like Darwin slaps. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's
Darwin
good.
Slaps.
It's wicked.
It's wicked.
You got to go.
Racing second? Is that what you're saying? I go there to, racing. Chariots is cool, but,
No. It's just got it all there. Like
it's just a vibe. That's what it sounds like.
And, Darwin's not the Darwin city isn't that big. So, you get all the teams in and we all stay in the city pretty well.
Yep.
And there's the waterfront down there. There's obviously the precinct, and you could go to the precinct every night of the week, and you will 100% see someone you know.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
From Speedway. Yeah.
And then the other one is the main strip. You walk down there, and there's this pub, and you're walking through there, and you're like, oh, there's that guy, there's that guy, there's that guy. Everyone, it sort of just feels like a fun environment, if you know what I mean.
Sick, 100%.
And then, obviously, all the pubs, they do their Wild Wednesdays and everyone hangs out there.
It's a big week, eh? Like, they do a lot of racing. Like, will you go for that big stretch they do, before, or just...
I'll do the weekend before and Chariots.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to try aim for myself, because I don't want to just... This year, being on I call myself the budget traveller, right? Traveling, there was a lot of tracks I went to just for one night. First time I went to Perth, I flew in that day, flew out the next day, never been. But I got there, and they hadn't even started heats yet, and I'm crouching down, bro. Mind you, I was up at 3 a.m. to get this flight for Perth that day. So I'm crouching down, and I'm hurting, and they're doing fireworks before the heats, as a show, right? As we know they do. And someone goes, "You right, mate?" And I go, "Can they hurry up and start the heats? It's 10 p.m. my time." Because I'd been up, the 3 hour delay then, I'd been up. And then when the race is finished, everyone's like, "Hey, go." And then "Yo, you want to have a beer at the truck?" Yeah, I'm like, "Bro, it's 3 a.m. my time right now. I've been up for 24 hours. I got to go." So the night at the Plex, my first night at the Plex, and it was a hammer down night too. It wasn't Perth, slick and on the wall, everyone said. So I see the Plex, I'm like, fuck, the cars go pretty fast here. Not really on the fence like everyone says. It was like I think 5 guys set the track record in qualifying.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it was like, don't get me wrong, wicked cool to see him that fast. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't get to see much racing first night. It was hot laps the whole night, which Perth can, sometimes those heat races, it's so crucial to be at the front and go, get your points and move on. So your thoughts on another track, brand new Tolma. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I didn't really get a good enough run there.
Yeah, you had a bit of car issues, didn't you?
Yeah, I hit the cushion and then I freaking tore my muffler off in the heat, so I didn't really. And then I was too far on points, and I'm like, I'm not going out there to junk a car in the C main before I was title, so I didn't really get enough of laps. But yeah, it's big. It's definitely big. I mean it probably reminds me a lot of a track in America called Elma. But yeah, it's good. It's really good. Fast paced. It looked like the feature I was watching when I was driving. It looked badass.
Yeah, it was pretty. It seemed like one guy would roll the bottom smooth, and then they're just on the top. I'm like, that's a long way around, bro. Like for that thing, and then all of a sudden they get to the straight and then they meet. I'm like, that didn't make sense. It looked like he just got smoked, but he's right there. So I couldn't imagine that car speed was crazy. But do you feel like obviously they've started that track, and all they've done is, hey, we got a racetrack, and good enough for you to come race. Do you feel like if a new track was starting up again, like would that get you there as well? Like, hey, if you just guaranteed a good racetrack, not so much about the pits and all that, but show us that it's good and we'll come again when you make it better again? Or is it more like Tolma was a thing because it was placed perfectly? Oh, it's like I-55. Let's go have a crack. Was that? Like...
I think that's what probably got everyone is the fact it's based off I-55, rah, and it had its hype and everything for that. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, any new track's going to create a hype, I think, and for any speedway person, we've got dying tracks, so any new track that pops up, everyone sort of wants to go give it a go,
and hopefully it goes well. Like
exactly,
So what's it been like then? Obviously, the Tassie racing scene isn't that big. You went back there this year, ran at Latrobe. Like, what's it feel like racing at home? Is it more relaxed, or you like, what's that mentality like racing it in Tassie? I feel like you hear nothing about Tasmania racing even when it's on.
No, you don't. Which, I mean, it's sad. It used to once upon a time be actually like quite up there, like when World Series travelled there and all that, and but it's I don't know what it is. There's not enough cars now. If you want to really become a better driver, then you can't really race down there. You're not going to, learn on your racecraft. Unfortunately, when you're only really racing 6-7 cars a night, that's the big problem. So, I mean, I go down there. The only reason I go down there is for fan exposure, and because I have so many good fans down there.
It's your home, bro. Like you got to race there sometimes and not travel. So
like I mean, it is seriously like it's incredible how many fans I have when I go there. Like I have a line about 100 meters long to line up, which is really cool.
Like the sport is still there and they're following you, bro. Like
So
you got the whole state of Tassie cheering you on when you're out racing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was Now let's talk about that battle you had with Lockie at Gladstone. Now that looked like a tricky few restarts there, where you dove it in you dove it in, and I'm like, oh, he's got him here, and then he got you. But then going into that last restart, I'm like, my head was like, surely Lockie's not going to leave the bottom open this time, because you put it like to him. But then I was thinking, Gladstone's pretty tricky, and you might be able to, being a racer, tell me the insight. Like, Gladstone looks like if you do slide someone going into one, and you are very slow because it's that real pitch, was maybe the thought of it, like, let's say Lockie's thought, like, oh, if he doesn't slide me, he's definitely going to slide me going into 3 and 4 if I go low in 1 and 2. Was he, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he thought, I'm going to beat you again, and I'll just run the same line. Like, were you banking on him going to the top because you're like, I think I can get him?
Well, I think, let me grab my phone charger before this thing goes flat, and I'll get back to this.
Now you've made me edit. No, that's not bad. I don't have to edit that. It wasn't too long.
Oh, is this thing even freaking working?
Is that a portable?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I don't have to edit that. I thought you were going to be like 2 minutes
Okay.
late. Son of a...
No, we're good. I had that
That's
sitting there.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
sweet.
back to the thing. I'd rather that happen than it go
Yeah,
flat.
sure, 100%. So like like that restart, you one prior you got James, and then
Yep.
lately when you pass James McFadden, you know you got a good race car. Like
Yeah.
lately. But then you
Yeah,
dived in real tight on him, and you don't
yeah,
get
so
him.
we
But then that restart happened again, and you had the same opportunity. So talk me through that.
yeah, so I think the thing was probably I worked on James for so long throughout the race and probably searched the track a lot more than any
Big
car.
period, yeah.
Yeah, so I sort of found where I could run and put my car a lot
Yeah.
more and sort of just had to pick James's marks. And like I feel like I'm going to go better than James on a track like that. Obviously, we're younger and dumber at the end of the day. Um, so I worked on him, and man, it took me a while, and then finally got him, and then yeah, was catching Lockie, and then I was seeing that yellow, and I'm like, oh yeah, now we're bunched up, now we're home, and then the first one I sort of just sat there, and I wanted to see what he had and what he did off the thing, and then that green flag run went for like 4 laps, and then I'm like, all right, now I know what now he's gonna do.
Yeah.
First one, then Stoven him down low, and I knew I wasn't gonna have enough to clear him. I sort of just wanted to scare him to
Yeah, we'll
make
try
him
make like you said, slow track, trying to make an error. Like you do that.
yeah, try and force a mistake. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's hard one to make a mistake out of.
Bloody oath, yeah.
And yeah, and then honestly, in that run, obviously, I found the bottom was really good in 3 and 4, and he was running up top. But the bottom sucked because there was a big hole coming out of turn 4, which really wasn't that comfortable to sit in. But
Yeah.
you know what they say, the bottom is always the shortest way around the track, and he
Especially
goes
that place,
faster.
bro. That place for sure.
Yeah. So and then I noticed he was not really trying to start on the bottom. He was more starting up top, and if I could put myself and set my car right above the hole, still down the bottom, I'd get better drive to the flag stand.
Yep.
And yeah, as soon as he took off too high, and I seen his wheel spin straight away, and I knew I had enough to clear him into 2. So, and as soon as I cleared that, I turned hard left straight down to the bottom, so he
Yeah.
could not get back underneath me, and that was the end of
100% you
it.
did.
Yeah,
That's what I
'cause
mean. So like that corner at Gladstone, like when you're coming out of 2, it's so sharp and narrow. Like you just said, you like got it, and then you're like, I'm not letting this, because you would have thought that slide is coming right back.
Yeah. It's sort of a lot like it races a lot like Latrobe down home.
Okay.
It has the sweeping. Yeah, It has the sweeping back straight, so it's not just like a
like
dead jump.
like a big momentum thing. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the same as like Latrobe down here. So it probably helped me in that aspect to know how to defend something like that because I've done a lot of laps there.
Yeah,
But
right. That's wicked.
yeah, so that was how we sort of picked that one.
Yeah, well, so that is your last race of the season this year, like Australia. That was it.
Yeah, I gotta get me freaking body right, ready to go for another one.
But talk about it. I see, you're into the gym. What is the routine like? Do you try focus on, muscle groups for racing, or you just go, I'm just trying to be as fit as I can, do a group workout? Like, what's
Well,
your fitness
I
schedule?
always just try to be as fit as I can, but I've actually got a setback right now. I can't actually gym. I've hurt my bloody neck, which sucks, but
Your neck?
yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah,
I can't disclose.
I've always had neck problems
Yeah,
since
dodgy
like
neck. Yeah.
3 years ago at Darwin, and it's always flamed up. And then
Yeah, shit.
yeah, but anyway, got to work on that, getting that better before it does it midway through a season again.
Yeah. So, okay, like off-season period, right? You, like you said, you do your merch and all your car designs and that. Do you just give your car like go, hey designer, whip me something up, or do you go, I want to, like you did, you changed the white this year? Like, how does that process work?
Well, I have one designer which I use for bloody everything. He's my t-shirt, car, and everything. I just basically tell him what I want, and he comes back with nice stuff every time, and there's honestly minimal changes, and that's
That's
the
good.
way I like it.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah.
What
So
made
I
the
just
change to mix it up to a white race car this year? I feel like everyone sort of jumped on it and went, oh, now we all got white race cars.
Oh,
Like,
I know. Tell me about it. I made
like,
the change, and then I'm like, everyone started releasing. I'm like, now I look like
I
now I
love,
look
like,
like a
don't get me
ball.
wrong, I'm old school. I'm the old pearl white race car guy. I think they look wicked. But then I'm like, yeah, everyone's got one this year. Like you, Jai, Ryan changed his in America. Like,
Mhm.
it was like, oh, now we're all just running the same thing. All right, let's go.
Nah, yes, I was black for so many. Like I've been black since I
Yeah.
started.
I was going to
Black
say, the
everything,
red only
and
really came in the year before you won the title, eh? You were just like black and blue or something like that.
black and blue and grey, pretty well.
Yeah, and you had that yellow car one. Yellow something
Yeah,
car one. Oh, yeah, you
fluoro
had that
yellow.
car. And was it a classic? You junked it?
Oh,
Or a
probably have
Premier?
jumping.
Oh, I remember that car. I think it was like you were rookie out, and I just remember the T22 tore up, and I'm like, oh, I think that's cool. But back then, I'm like, he has some pace, that guy. But like you would say, I was just wide open, like just like you said, young and dumb, just sending it, like
Yeah,
whatever.
that's probably
How
got me now. Probably why I got problems.
catches up with you. So when you say, like, I'm going to come back to when you said you can see Lockie's wheels spinning. Now that
Mm.
throws me off. Never raced a sprint car. How much you can see and how quick your timing is. But racing at a place like Perth, then going to a small track like that, how much of a difference does the speed feel? Like, can you see so much because it's like, oh yeah, we're not that wide open, or is it harder because it's so much tight and you're looking at less space on the racetrack?
I mean, it's probably just like I don't know. It comes down to a lap factor. Stuff obviously happens a lot slower than what
Yeah.
it first did. Obviously, you get used to it, and yeah, you even talk to James, and I hate when there's a big screen at a race that you race James because
Really?
he will watch the big screen to see where I'm running or whatever
That's
behind.
gnarly. I think I talked to Michael Stewart about that. He says when it's at Sydney, he goes, it's in a really good spot to watch out of two. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why are you watching that? Like,
yeah, you can watch. There's times where they put it and you can watch it, which can be pretty handy, but it can suck if
or
you're
the
second.
people say the lap counter, and you can see when your number pops up, so you can cross the line and you can see how close is the guy second because it hasn't popped up yet.
Oh my god, I've never paid attention to that one.
Yeah, so there you go, bro. Look out for that one. If you're leading and you feel good, you go, oh yeah, oh, they haven't crossed yet. I'm going into one. I've got a whole straight. There you go.
I'll just concentrate on turning left.
Yeah, I
I
would
ain't
too.
looking.
Left turn, wall coming
Yep.
at me, lap car. Oh my god. Yeah. All right, let's finish it up with a really awesome thing we had this year was the Adelaide 500.
hmm
Now, you won first night. As a driver, there's no way, and even me, you expected that track to be that good night one by feature time.
Nope.
I feel like, and you could say this. I was like there, and I feel like everyone was in this weird mood of like, what's going to happen? We don't know. Like, and everyone's looking at track going, damn, she flat. Like, and
hmm
then some people practice. Did you practice the day before or no?
Nah.
Yeah, so like only a small group of guys practice or whatever. But I was just like, I expected night one to be like night two. I was like, oh yeah, it's going to take rubber, but it's going
Yeah,
to
I
race.
know.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but we were all there for the event. Like,
Yeah.
so, but just how, like the heat racing, we knew what it was going to be, pretty tight and straightforward. But explain, like, I was watching that feature, and I don't know what you were, I forgot it was a man made track. That's how good night one was.
Yeah, I know. It
Is that how it
was
felt in the car? Like, you could just go in, run a push, run the top, slide, like,
yeah, it produced more than what I think anyone expected at
bloody
the end of the
hard.
day. Yeah, for
Yeah.
them to build a track in whatever it was a week
Mm.
and put on a show like that, it's pretty cool. And like, I hope it comes back. I mean, I'm pretty sure it
I
is.
think
I'm
we
not
got 2 more
100%.
years, like, locked in.
Yeah, I don't know. There just hasn't been much said about it, but
Yeah, I thought
um,
that too. Pretty quiet on the whole thing.
yeah, which hopefully it comes back because
Mm.
honestly, it was the best thing that we could have done for our sport. And I think it was a wicked weekend at the end of the day.
It
Like,
sure was, eh? Like the concerts, even if you weren't racing the next day, you could just go and watch the Supercross, the Supercars. Like you even got to
yeah,
experience the Supercar
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever. Was it a Supercar you got in?
yeah, Super Two.
What was that like?
It was more than what I expected, which it's probably funny. I was in a guy that drives Super. We used to live down here, and he's a year younger than me. and
right. So you just got
drives
in
to
going,
tip.
hey, mate, yeah, let's go
Oh, well, he
for
messaged me. He goes, I want to take you for a lap. And I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, as soon as I got in the thing, I knew he was going to show off. It was going to be,
send it,
yeah, anyway. Oh, it was, but the biggest thing of those things, I can't believe the brake on those things.
Like how
It is
quick it
next.
pulls you up.
Oh my God. We're flying down that back straight. I don't even know what turn I was in, that fast straight.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, we are not pulling up. This ain't
And
good.
that must be a pretty gut yuck feeling, like, this is going to hurt.
Oh, and my belts weren't tight. So when he hit the brakes, I was like thrown forward.
Yuck.
Yeah.
That's like a roller
No.
coaster ride or something.
Oh, but it was sick. I actually really liked it.
Have you ever had interest in doing road racing like that, or nah?
Nah, not really. I mean, I had a go-kart back in the day. That was, I don't know. I've always
Just
been
not
dirty.
your thing? Just...
I mean, I'd give it a go, but like, I'd suck. I have no idea about all the apexes and all
Do you
that.
reckon?
Hey,
I mean, I explain it too. Like my patience level, like when I'm on iRacing, I can't do anything but 30 laps in sprint car because I get bored doing the road racing. Like,
oh, that's my problem.
oh yeah, I'm out. Done 2 laps. That took 3.5 minutes. I'm done. Could have done 10 laps already. 14.
Yeah, go do a freaking Bathurst 24-hour then.
Yeah,
See how you go.
insane, bro. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, it's interesting in the history and that, and it does pull the corporate sponsors. So, but I
Yeah.
think you doing that did also maybe bring eyes on it, like your socials, like, hey, I was in a supercar, and then people go, who's this guy? Oh, that's that guy over there with the wing thing.
Yeah.
I just had people come from the supercars to me, and I'm standing there watching the tractor go around, just sussing out, and they're like, so what's going on here?
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
like-
it was like.
And I'm like, oh, we're racing tonight and tomorrow. What time's it start? And I'm like, oh, 5 o'clock. What time's it finish? I'm like, oh, about 10. He goes, oh, that's pretty good. I might come over after. It was these 3 old blokes that like nothing. And then one guy sort of goes, they're those sprinter things, eh? It was like that. I'm like, yeah, mate, sprint car. This is what we do. This is how they do it. It's going to do these heats. And I tried to talk like supercar format language to him, like we do qualifying. Then they do like your heat dash thing, and then it's a big race, but you got to make it. Or sometimes you'll pack up shop. You're not good enough. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, we'll come back. It was such a lovely chat, but like literally was like, wow, this event is bringing more eyes on the sport.
Yeah.
Like, because that thing was packed, man.
Oh, mate, people were hanging out of trees.
Yeah, legit. In the trees and the bar was pumping. And yeah, it was ripper. Is there anything you would change as a competitor to make that event better? Even though it was ripper, I thought. Anything?
As a competitor, I mean, not.
I got one thing. I reckon you'll like it, but
The only thing I could think is for the spectators,
how would you change that?
more grandstands,
Agree.
more viewing platforms.
I agree. I think they... You know where it would be, did you see where the motocross was?
Yeah.
Bro, if we were in that, imagine that.
Oh, well, we'd have had a grandstand. Yeah, it would have been like a high limit show. You know how they pack those freaking.
Yeah, but the visuals of that, sprint cars and all the fans like that, and like get back to supercars, kick the super bikes out, whatever. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is format wise. You know how we had qualifying both nights?
Yes.
Just flip it. If you're first, you're last second night.
Oh yeah.
Could that? Because I felt like it was very important where you were, and it is a 2-day points thing. Like if you're trying to make it even.
Yeah. It can't be 2 complete different draws.
Like that's what it was, yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I got a late and a late.
That's what I mean, and on that, that's rough. I mean, you're one by one, so your points were already there.
I
but
remember
still,
this
like,
actually. Yeah, and that Chase.
I thought that's rough.
Yeah, me and Chase ran. I remember this. We complained about it. We're like, how we? Because we were like 18, 19 on both freaking nights.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, 100%.
In the 5-1 or something, both nights, which sucked.
Yeah, but that would be like not a thing. I think that's the only thing to make it fair on you guys, fans. Again, that doesn't matter. I mean,
Oh, they don't care.
competitors.
They just want to see crashes.
All great racing, Jock. What about that?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, but can you imagine those supercar people seeing a crash? They'd love it.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We did have a good meeting of like not that many wrecks.
I know.
Like,
It
I
was.
was scared those things were going to fly over that fence. Not going to lie.
I don't think you. I don't think you would, because you would never
the
really
speed you were
get.
going.
Yeah, and how that races, it'd be very hard to get up there.
To get a big whooshka.
The only
A
way
lot of
I reckon you could
Yeah, like running over right rear, like with the left front.
on entry. Yep, that's the only way, and
Yeah.
cartwheel.
Yeah, then end over end. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think though, like an event like that, right? Let's say there's no Archerfield at the moment.
Mm.
Do you reckon a place like that, Gold Coast, would be pumping something like that? Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be the most ideal place to put another one if we ever did that, like the Gold Coast? Or where do you think?
I just don't think you could do it in Gold Coast. Is the problem.
That's not the attitude I want to hear. We need to make it happen.
Where would you put it,
mate? What do you mean? Just right on the strip. Send it. Why not? We'll just do sprint car drags down the strip.
We'll just put it on the beach. Oh wait, no, there's no
mate,
beach left.
Imagine that visual, mate. Sprint car and you see the beach on the background. Oh, get me there in a heartbeat. And you probably get tourists, like all the Europeans, like, what is this? What is that wing? What is the satellite on their car?
Oh, God.
I just had a guy at work the other day tell me, oh, they're the ones with the satellite on top. I said, can you stop talking? Like, just stop talking, please. You're insulting me. Just go away. Okay? Go away. Well, last thing, we finished with Adelaide. What do you want to achieve over the next 5 years? It could be in life or racing. What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years, man? And I do have one more finishing question for you, but this one's a big one too. So go. Next 5 years, what does Jock Goodyer want to achieve?
Definitely want to have my own operation run in America.
Ooh, what do you mean, like your shirt business?
No, like
or
racing.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
and
definitely want to achieve that.
What do you mean operation? Do you mean like, okay, running a high limit, or just basing nights, or running an outlaws? Like, what do we?
Oh, it'd be like I wouldn't do it full time, but I'd like to do like a
Good
8 to 12 week stint.
Mm.
Yeah, that's in my own stuff with my own crew, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like Ryan's over there doing it now. Like I'd love for more guys to be doing it, so I can, you know, follow you along, and you got something to talk about during the year. But that's a pretty big goal. Like not many people, like fans, would know like how much that takes. But do you know where you would base it out of? Like, do you feel like a state?
Not Knoxville.
Not Knoxville. Hey, biggest race of the year. Jock Goodyer.
Yeah.
Knoxville Nationals is bloody hard.
Yeah, they ain't happening, bro. We ain't got nothing like Knoxville here.
So what do you got, like Cali?
Yeah, Cali's cool. But like Cali's only really stints.
Yeah, it's like that back end of the year, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's hard. You got to try base yourself around places that are similar, because there's no point wasting our time saying we're racing Knoxville and Port Royal and that. Like, what sort of track experience are we gonna have going there?
Well, you like would it slow? Like I know I said it before, but you said it didn't really matter. But slowing our tracks down for you visually and
but it's just the way how a car would react is a different thing.
Yeah, okay. So like you would rather do it so like you said you can get back in the seat here, and if you can find grip in America, you're definitely going to find grip here with our current equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And then the last thing, there goes my mouse. The last thing is, what was the race that got away that still burns you to today?
Probably the one that burns me.
Like still that you know, I should have won that.
When I was 17 in Darwin. Yeah, the Aussie 500 title.
Oh, you formerly have won. Still over any sprint car race. The one, if that would have been your first one, you should have won.
Yep.
Damn. That's like, and you've won one, so it's not like you went, oh, okay, that's like lost my hatred for it. But No, it's still no other sprint car race where you've junked it or crashed it and it was big and you're like, nah, that was the Formula 500 title, your first one. You should have won, you reckon?
Yep.
All right. From your point of view, what happened in that race?
Last lap, last quarter. Yeah.
Well, you did it to my mate at Sydney, so relax, yeah? All right? On the top side.
You were racing for a can of Coke and a hot dog. I
Whoa.
was racing for a title.
Oh, what did you win for that night if you won the title?
$5,000.
Oh, Formula 500.
Yeah, that's what a title pays.
Oh, that's not bad. So you jumping back in or what? Get back in, mate. 5 G's.
Nah, no thanks. Done me
Straight to the
time.
cast,
Got me
put
A1.
it on black. There you go.
Nah, done.
Oh, well, if you want to sponsor a T22, I'm your driver, all right, mate? We'll get a program going.
Yeah.
I can be
Yeah,
like...
you keep practicing on no iRacing. You're too expensive to keep.
Yeah, fucking oath. All right, mate. Good chat. Thanks for coming on.
Rightio.